Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Football View. If you're new here, you know what to do. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. Now, the Champions League round of 16 draws out, and we saw some interesting fixtures, some difficult ones, and some, the ones that definitely these people are going to beat these particular people they have been paired with. And we saw the PSG versus the Bayern Munich. Incredible game. I can't wait for that game because I'm a Bayern fan. And it's interesting to see how that game is going to be interesting to see how that game pans out. So in this video, I'll be talking about the draw, and I'll be giving you my predictions and telling you the people that will make it to the next stage of, or the teams. I'll give you the teams that will be making it to the next stage of the competition. I'll give you my prediction in this video. So subscribe if you haven't. Right now, subscribe before we get into it. Have you done that? All right, let's get into it. Now, the game between the RB Leipzig versus Manchester City. Now we know that Nkunku has tormented Manchester City, Pep Guardiola before. I'm expecting Nkunku to come out with full force and play against Manchester City, but ultimately Manchester City got Erling Haaland and they got Pep Guardiola. So I'm expecting Manchester City to beat RB Leipzig. It's not going to be an easy game. Yes, with the new coach RB Leipzig has, they have been playing very well. They even beat Real Madrid in the Champions League. So it's not going to be an easy game, but I'm expecting Manchester City to beat RB Leipzig. The first game, that's the first leg, will be a win for Manchester City. Second leg will be a win for Manchester City. That's my prediction. So let's hope it's an interesting game and full of, surprises, some beautiful football skills and all that. So I'm predicting Manchester City to beat RB Leipzig in that particular fixture. Then move on to Club Brugge versus Benfica. Wow. Very difficult to call. You know how everyone talked down on Club Brugge when the Champions League group games, like the group games you draw, like when everyone has been paired into their various group, people were expecting Club Brugge to be the last in the group of Bayern, Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid, and some other, I think Porto. Yeah, I think Porto before them. They were expecting Club Brugge to be the last, but miraculously they were on top and they played very well and they earned it. It's not a fluke. They played very well and they earned their spot in the round of 16. So I'm expecting them to be a very, very tough test for Benfica. But ultimately, I'm expecting Benfica to beat Club Brugge and move to the next stage of the competition. So my predictions: Benfica moving to the next stage of the competition. They'll move over to Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Now, this game is an interesting one. Real Madrid lost the game against Rayo Vallecano last night, and you see that you're not untouchable. It's possible that you can beat them if you play very well. Liverpool will try their best to get a positive result at Anfield because they know that when they go to Bernabeu, there's a spirit in Bernabeu that always sides with Real Madrid when it comes to Champions League football. So if Liverpool can get a convincing win at Anfield, I think they can go out there and put a very good performance against Real Madrid. But ultimately, do you think Liverpool can beat Real Madrid? I don't think so. So I'm predicting Real Madrid to beat Liverpool in this particular fixture to move to the next round. So right now, I've talked about Man City, Benfica, and Real Madrid. The three teams I have predicted so far that will make it to the next stage of the competition. They'll move over to AC Milan versus Tottenham Hotspur. Very tough. A very, very tough game. So Tottenham Hotspur will go out to defend very well against AC Milan. AC Milan have found it difficult to play teams that defend very well because, AC Milan thrive with counter-attack and, fast playing football. If you slow the game against AC Milan, I think you are going to end up slowing their game and eventually get a result from that particular game. We've seen it in the Serie A this season, and I'm hoping they would not forget about the game they have lost when they play against Tottenham. I'm hoping they have learned a lot from all those games. But Tottenham will be a big test for them. If you look at the results they have gotten this season compared to the ones they've had last season, they have been below par. But I'm still expecting them to beat Tottenham and move to the next stage of the competition. I'm expecting AC Milan to be strong enough to beat and knock out Tottenham and move to the next stage of the competition. The next game is Frankfurt versus Napoli. Obviously, we're expecting Napoli to beat Frankfurt black and blue. But let's not just assume that Napoli will beat Frankfurt at ease. It's going to be a very difficult game. Yes, but Osimhen is back. Even when he was out, Napoli were playing very well. They are leading in the Serie A right now, playing very well, scoring goals. You know, I've not lost a league game this season. The only game they have lost this season was against Liverpool. So I think Frankfurt would have to do all they can. They have to be at their very best if they really want to beat Napoli. But I'm thinking Napoli will be too strong for Frankfurt, and Napoli will beat Frankfurt and move to the next stage of the competition. We'll move over to Dortmund versus Chelsea. Now, Chelsea are very good defensively. The problem is the attack. And when you defend very well and frustrate Dortmund, they end up trying to force out, bring all the players up front. And if you hit them, the counter attack and score. They come out the more, you can still score again with the counter attack. So if Chelsea can sort out the attack before that fixture, I think Chelsea will beat Dortmund. I'm telling you, if Chelsea can sort out the attack before the particular fixture, that's next year, I think Chelsea can beat Dortmund. So if I'm to predict, I'm predicting that Chelsea will beat Dortmund and move to the next stage of the competition. Yes, I'm predicting a Chelsea win. Chelsea will beat Dortmund and move to the next stage of the competition. Over to Inter Milan versus FC Porto. Very tough game. Very tough game. Porto are underdogs. If you underrate them, they will punish you. So I think they are very good when it comes to games, like crucial games, especially in the Champions League. They want to prove their worth. They want to use underrated players you don't expect to spring up surprises. They will use them and, you know, hurt a team, big teams, and other big heads in the UEFA Champions League. Inter Milan versus Porto. Who wins? I think, I'm thinking Porto will beat Inter Milan. Yes, that is my prediction. Porto will beat Inter Milan and scale to the next stage of the competition. I know it's a very tough call. It's something that you won't imagine, but I'm thinking FC Porto will beat Inter Milan and move to the next stage of the competition. Inter Milan just lost the games against Juve. I'm not basing my prediction based on that. I'm basing my prediction based on the fact that FC Porto are always committed in crucial games like this, and they always bring up surprises. So I'm thinking FC Porto will beat Inter Milan and move to the next stage of the competition. Then finally, we go to PSG versus Bayern Munich. Now, incredible game, incredible fixture. Now, PSG players, Bayern coaches, everyone have been talking about this game. PSG is the club with the most brilliant individual players. They have Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, one of the three best players in the world right now. Top 10, I think those three players are in top 10 right now in the entire world. So it's going to be a huge test for Bayern Munich. But as Choupo-Moting said, that if you want to win the Champions League, you have to go head to head with the best clubs in the world. So that's a huge test for them, and they will try and put out the best performance and win the game. I'm not being biased. I think Bayern Munich will beat PSG. Now, this all falls on the results we get in the first leg. If we can get the result in the first leg, I think we can really go far and go to the PSG home and beat them there. So I'm predicting a win for Bayern Munich, obviously. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be tough. Bayern Munich just have to go to PSG home and get a good result. If it's 1-0 loss, 1-1, 2-1, anyhow, come back to the Allianz Arena and beat them and get to the next stage of the competition. So I'm expecting a very good game, a very good encounter in that particular pair. I think it's the best anyone I've seen in the past few years. So everyone is anticipating that game. I think it's going to break record for most viewed game in the Champions League for the past few years. So my prediction, Bayern Munich to beat PSG and move to the next stage of the competition. So let's go all over. Let's go back and, you know, go through the players, the teams I have called that will move to the next stage of the competition in the UEFA Champions League. So I said RB Leipzig versus Manchester City. I called Manchester City. Club Brugge versus Benfica. I said Benfica. Liverpool versus Real Madrid. I said Real Madrid. AC Milan versus Tottenham. I said AC Milan. Napoli versus Frankfurt. I said Napoli. Dortmund versus Chelsea. I said Chelsea. Then Inter Milan versus Porto. I said Porto. Then Bayern Munich versus PSG. I said Bayern Munich. So those are the teams I think will move to the next stage of the competition in the round of the 16. So I would like to know your predictions. Put down in the comment section if you have a contrary view or you have similar views or the same view with me. I would like to know your own thoughts and your own predictions. So I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Till next time, guys, goodbye.